The train never stopped. It was just a flicker of motion in the dark, steel wheels slicing through an endless, heavy fog. Inside car 7, I sat alone, my reflection trembling in the window. The carriage hummed with a strange life, but there were no other souls to be found. Every few minutes, a soft automated voice would echo. Next stop, Terminal 7, estimated arrival, unknown. Unknown. I glanced down at the ticket clutched in my hand. It was a simple piece of cardstock with a single word printed on it, return. Suddenly, a low voice, like radio static, whispered through the intercom. Welcome aboard, Mr. Cross. Your journey has begun. The train jolted violently, and I gripped the seat to steady myself. Outside, the landscape was a blur of nothingness. No towns, no trees, no stars, just relentless motion without any sense of direction. Hours turned into what felt like days. Time itself had dissolved into the rhythm of the train. The clatter of wheels, the low hum of the lights, and the faint, tired reflection of my own face staring back at me. I finally stood up and walked through the aisle. Car 7 led to an identical empty car 8, then 9, then 10. As I entered car 11, I stopped. A woman in a vibrant red coat sat by the window, her face pale and almost luminous. Do you know when this train stops? I asked, my voice shaking. She didn't look up, whispering almost to herself. It stops when you remember. Remember what? I pressed. She finally turned, her eyes reflecting the same static I'd heard on the intercom. Who you were when you boarded. I stumbled back, confused. What are you talking about? But just as I spoke, the lights flickered, and she was gone. The seat was empty, the air suddenly cold. All that remained was her red scarf. I picked it up. It smelled faintly of smoke, and beneath it, carved into the metal seat, were the words, Car 11, Memory Replay in Progress. I rushed back toward the front of the train, but every car had changed. The seats were twisted, the walls seemed to pulse with a faint light, and screens flickered with fragmented memories of my life. My apartment, my desk at the law firm, an empty whiskey glass on the table. Then a voicemail from her. Clara. Evan, please call me back. I'm worried about you. Her name escaped my lips as a whisper. Clara. I pressed my palm against the window glass, and my reflection blinked a second too late. Then it smiled. A cold, knowing smile. You shouldn't have gotten on, Evan. I staggered backward. Who are you? The reflection tilted its head. You were driving the night it happened. The train screeched, the sound tearing through my head. My vision blurred, flashing lights, pouring rain, the sound of screams and shattering glass. No, I wasn't. I gasped, trying to deny it. My reflection leaned closer, its voice a chilling whisper. You never made it home. The intercom crackled to life again. Passenger Evan Cross, please report to the conductor's cabin. My heart pounded in my chest as I pushed through the doors, car after car, until I reached the very front. In the dim amber light of car 1 stood the conductor, a tall, calm figure, his face half hidden under a cap. You called me, I said, my voice trembling. He offered a faint, unsettling smile. Not yet, but I will. My eyes narrowed. What is this place? The conductor stepped forward, his voice as measured and steady as a metronome. You boarded the Infinite Line, the train that carries those who haven't decided whether to arrive or return. I shook my head. That doesn't make any sense. He tilted his head slightly. Doesn't it? You chose not to stop. Not when you had the chance. I clenched my fists, anger rising. I didn't choose this. Everyone chooses, he replied calmly. Some just don't remember when. He handed me an envelope, stamped with that same single word, return. Your final destination depends on what's inside. My hands shook as I tore it open. Inside was a photo of me and Clara, smiling on a sunny day, and tucked behind it, a newspaper clipping. The headline read, Local man in coma after collision, passenger unidentified. My breath hitched. I dropped the photo. No. The conductor adjusted his gloves, his voice devoid of emotion. "We all pay the fare, Mr. Cross. Some pay with time, others with truth." The world outside the train began to warp and distort. The windows now showed the same intersection, over and over, replaying in an endless, sickening loop. Rain falling, headlights colliding, the moment of impact frozen midair. I pressed my face to the glass, watching myself in the driver's seat, shouting Clara's name. Then, darkness. The woman in the red coat appeared beside me again, her presence as quiet as a shadow. "You keep watching it," she said, "but you never change it." I turned to her, my voice breaking. "I can't." "You can," she replied softly. "If you're brave enough to get off." I whispered. "Off what?" "This." Just then, a train door hissed open beside me. A fierce wind rushed in, pulling at me. Through the open door, I saw a light, a hospital room flickering in the distance, machines, a beeping monitor. "Is that me?" I whispered in disbelief. The woman nodded. "He's still fighting, but only one of you gets to wake up." I looked back down the long corridor of the train, stretching into infinite darkness. The intercom whispered one last time. "Next stop, Terminal 7, decision point." The lights dimmed, the world slowed to a crawl. I stood frozen, caught between the open door to reality and the dark corridor of the train. The conductor's voice echoed faintly around me. "If you step off, you'll forget everything. The train will move on without you." My eyes welled with tears. "And if I stay, you'll remember forever." I took a hesitant step toward the door. The wind roared, pulling at my clothes. The photo of Clara fluttered from my hand, carried away into the light. Then I heard it, her voice, faint but real, calling from the other side. "Evan, please, wake up." My heart pounded. I reached for the light, but the train lurched violently. The door slammed shut, sealing me inside. The conductor appeared beside me, his face calm and cold. "Missed your stop," I screamed, pounding on the door until my fists felt raw. "Open it. Let me out." He watched me silently, then said, "We don't stop twice. You're still not ready." The train plunged into absolute darkness. Suddenly, every screen along the corridor flickered to life, showing endless versions of me. Me in different seats, in different cars, all staring out the window, all making the same choice: to stay. I stumbled backward, my eyes wide with horror. How many times have I done this? In perfect, chilling unison, all the reflections on the screens answered, "Infinity." I dropped to my knees, broken. "Please," I whispered to no one. "I'll do anything." The woman in red appeared one last time, her voice now filled with a deep sadness. "You already did, Evan. You traded peace for guilt." I looked up at her, my voice barely a whisper. "Then what am I now?" "A passenger without a destination." The train began to shake violently, alarms blaring. From the front, the conductor shouted, "Brace for collapse." I grabbed a seat as the world outside fractured, splitting into two realities. One half was the endless train. The other was the hospital room where Clara held my hand, tears streaming down her face. "Evan, please, come back to me." I closed my eyes, a single desperate wish forming in my mind. "I just want to go home." And then the train screamed as it plunged into the void. Silence, a steady rhythmic beep. Warm light filtered through white curtains. I gasped, air filling my lungs like fire. I blinked, my eyes focusing on a white ceiling, a hospital ceiling. Clara's face came into view, her expression a mix of shock and overwhelming relief. "Evan? Oh my God, you're awake." I managed a weak smile. I got off the train." Tears filled her eyes as she hugged me. "You're safe now. It's over." I closed my eyes, and for the first time in what felt like an eternity, the world was still. The relentless hum of the train was finally gone. Weeks passed. My recovery was slow, filled with therapy and long stretches of silence. The world outside the hospital walls felt too bright, too real. One afternoon, as I was packing to finally leave, a nurse handed me a small box with my old belongings. My wallet, my watch, and my phone. The screen was cracked, but it still faintly worked. When I powered it on, a single notification popped up. Your return trip is confirmed. Boarding begins at 9 p.m. I froze, my pulse quickening. I looked up at the hospital clock on the wall. It read 8:59, and then, faint in the distance, I heard a train whistle blow. "No," I whispered. The lights in the room flickered once. My reflection in the window turned toward me, a faint, knowing smile playing on its lips. "Welcome back, Mr. Cross. Your journey resumes." The scene cuts to black. Then, a flicker. We are back on the train, in car 7. I'm sitting by the window, a faint, placid smile on my lips, completely unaware that I have done this 1,000 times before. The intercom whispers its eternal haunting message. Next stop, Terminal 7. Estimated arrival, unknown. The view slowly pulls back, revealing endless cars on endless tracks, looping in a perfect, inescapable circle. The sound of the train echoes through nowhere, a final thought hanging in the air. Some passengers never leave. They just forget where they were going. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next trip into the unknown. See you next time.